Good afternoon and welcome to Thursday Thought. Well, in the event you didn't already know, this is the first day of autumn. Well, you're correct. Today is not September 22nd, which the calendar reveals as the first day of autumn. Today is September 1st, the first day of meteorological autumn. Meteorologists, weather people, have a little different take on the seasons than the calendar does. Autumn for them begins on September 1 and goes through November 30th. Winter is December 1st through February 28th, and so on with spring and summer. It's usually during about this time of the year that even if the days remain hot, the nights become cooler, and the days themselves don't usually become as hot as they sometimes can get in midsummer. This time also usually heralds an increase in what we might term the autumn rains, as cold air masses clash with warm air masses in the middle part of the country. They provide the proper conditions for rain and maybe even some stronger storms. September also normally brings a maturing of the outdoor plant life. Plants often seed themselves during this time. Some begin to die back, others change color. Plants that like cooler weather will grow better during this time. And it's also a time for animals to change their behavior. Squirrels and others rush to store up food for the winter months. Summer bird species begin their migration to warmer climates. Some animals find mates and propagate their kind during this time. Things like crickets and spiders begin to look for warm places to make their homes. It's a busy time for all of nature getting ready for the cold winter, ice and snow that's to come. Now, I don't know if you look at these kinds of things in nature or not. Such things may not interest you, and that's okay. However, I've always been interested in observing the changes in nature and the environment as we pass from one season to another. Part of that interest is the fascination that I have in wondering just how these animals and plants know what to do and when to do it to prepare for the upcoming changes. Yes, it's programmed into them in some way, but where did that programming come from? And how did it happen that they were able to make these adjustments in the first place? Yes, I know all about the creation-evolution thing and the conflicts and arguments that arise from both camps regarding why things are the way they are. And it's not my intention to get into that today. Regardless of how God chose to do things, I earnestly believe that it was and still is a God thing and not a random act or random molecules that somehow come together in certain random ways that just happen to produce all that we see and experience. And one of the big things I look at when I think about this, besides what I know from biblical literature, is the process of metamorphosis. Yes, you got that right, metamorphosis. Now, without going into detail, I'll just say that metamorphosis is a truly mind-blowing and incredibly complex process that just screams out for a higher power to have created and sustained it, however that creation and sustenance might have actually happened. The other mind-boggling thing is found in the Bible, in the book of Hebrews, where the writer says that Jesus Christ, and I quote here, is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of His being, sustaining all things by His powerful word. Now that phrase, all things, is synonymous with the word universe. Somehow, even now, according to this writer, everything that we see and know, and all that we can't see and don't know, is being upheld and made operational by the power of Jesus Christ. Now, I don't know if you're a faithful Christian, a nominal Christian, agnostic, spiritualist, atheist, or some other religious persuasion. What I do know is what I see and perceive in life and living. And I'm finding that Christianity has answers that can find no place else. And those answers are for questions that come from the souls of men and women everywhere, in all times, in all societies, and in all situations. The world we see, that universe that we see, that's just one thing that points to the God of heaven and earth. May God bless you as you too continue down the path of life into what some call meteorological autumn this year. Keep your eyes, your ears, your heart, and your mind open as you observe all that surrounds you. You know, as Calvin said to Hobbes some years ago in the final strip of that long-running comic Calvin and Hobbes, and I quote here, "It's a magical world, Hobbes, old buddy. Let's go exploring."